They say money can't buy happiness, but it sure does help. Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we are heading off to Washington DC's Dupont Circle to explore the Leiter Mansion. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode of this house. In 1834, Levi Leiter was born to a working-class family in Leitersburg, Maryland, a small town with only a handful of families which his grandfather had founded. His whole life, he had wanted to escape the backwoods settlement and see the world. When he was a young teenager, he moved to the then-thriving city of Springfield, Ohio, to work in a dry goods store. But it still did not provide him with the big city life he had always dreamed about. When he was 19, he made the life-changing decision to apply for a bookkeeper position at Cooley, Wadsworth & Company in Chicago. The company was the largest dry goods company in the Midwest, and he was able to learn the interworkings of a business empire. While working for the company, he got in close with his co-workers, Marshall Field and Potter Palmer. Eventually, the trio created their own retail chain, which they named Field Palmer Leiter & Company, which would later go on to be renamed Marshall Field's, the largest department store chain in the United States. Levi proposed to Mary Carver, a schoolteacher from New York, and the two quickly tied the knot. Mary wanted to climb the social ladder with her husband, but no matter how much money Levi made, Chicago's social elites snubbed the couple for being new money. When tragedy struck Chicago, the couple thought they would have the chance to finally gain the respect of their social peers. In 1871, the Great Chicago Fire ravaged the city, causing thousands of residents to become displaced. Levi volunteered to distribute funds to rebuild Chicago through the Chicago Relief and Aid Society, which he personally donated the modern equivalent of millions of dollars to. Even after helping so many people, Chicago's social elites still refused to recognize him and his wife, never extending even a single invitation to a ball. Feeling completely unappreciated, Levi and Mary gave up on Chicago. In 1871, Levi sold a share of the company to Marshall Fields for $6 million, the modern equivalent of nearly $178 million. Then the couple moved to Washington, DC, where they began investing heavily in real estate. While they felt out the area, deciding if DC would become their permanent home, they rented the most expensive house they could find, the James G. Blaine Mansion. The towering, all-brick, Second Empire-style mansion cost a whopping $11,500 in rent, the modern equivalent of $340,000. The Leiters were public with this figure as they announced their arrival in Washington, D.C.'s Dupont Circle. The residents of D.C. were much more receptive to the Leiters, extending invitations to them to attend balls and dinners, with D.C.'s social elites curious to know who could afford such extravagance. This made Levi and Mary happy, as they could now participate for the first time in their lives the way they had always dreamed about together. Needless to say, they decided to make Dupont Circle their permanent home and set out to build their own house. In 1891, they purchased a premium lot in Dupont Circle and began construction of their 55-room mansion. The larger-than-life Greystone Palace was set at an unimaginable scale, rising 62 feet from the base of the porte-cochere's columns to the tip of the portico's gable, leaving a generous 18-foot ceiling height per level on the three main floors. While there are only a handful of surviving historic photos, we can catch a glimpse of the mansion's imposing grandeur. The interior contained a grand hall, which was 28 feet wide and flanked by marble columns. The walls were decorated with murals and intricate plasterwork to create niches, and through the marble archway, we can see the only photo of the drawing room, welcoming guests with live music pouring out from the mezzanine. The library was furnished with oversized and overstuffed furniture, with a domed alcove offering an intimate seating area in front of a solid marble fireplace, with laurel accents in its relief work. The dining room was finished out with antique furniture between wainscoted walls, with damask wallpaper rising towards a gilded frieze below a maze-like coffered ceiling. Every room was created to impress guests, as Mary hosted elaborate parties. To secure her place as the leader of DC's high society, she would compete directly with other balls, scheduling her events on the same night as others. If a guest would decline her invitation and attend another ball, they would be uninvited from any future events at the Leiter Mansion. The couple reigned as the head of DC's high society until Levi's unexpected passing in 1904. Mary continued to host large events, including marrying her daughters into the British royal and noble families, with their weddings taking place at the house. When her son Joseph wed, Mary gifted him the mansion as a wedding present, which he lived in for only 20 years. But when Joseph passed away in 1932, the house passed to his widow, Juliet, who continued living in the house while she was in mourning. Then, she leased the house to the Soviet government to be used as offices. At this point, the house was fully intact with much of its original furnishings still in place, so when she willed it to her son, she expected it to be used again as the family mansion where her grandchildren would be raised. But her son was quick to sell the house after her death in 1942. It was purchased by developers who had plans to demolish it. They opened it up to the public for anyone who would want to salvage materials, which attracted over 10,000 people who stripped the mansion down to its bones. Even after the house was demolished, hundreds more came to search for any leftover valuables in the rubble. Eventually, the site was cleared and the hotel, which would later become the Dupont Circle Hotel, was built in its place. Even though the mansion is no longer standing, we still have these 4 interior photos to remember what life was like for the most elite in DC's Gilded Age. What did you think about this mansion? Let me know down below in the comments section. And if you have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.